Good day, or at least beautiful day with the sunshine here. We're finally getting into spring, enjoying this boost of range and all that comes with it for electric vehicles. But today I wanted to talk about why I'm in this electric vehicle, the Bolt EV, why we didn't choose the vehicle behind me, the Tesla Model 3, and why we might choose the Tesla Model Y, depending on a few other things when our lease comes to an end. So let's dive into the reasons why we're in this and what might get us out of it. So why the Model Y? Well, for us, the Model 3, aside from it being significantly after the Bolt EV, when we were shopping for a vehicle, Model 3 is a sedan which we were coming from using a Chevy Volt, and it felt already too low, a little bit too cramped in the back for the kids. Just the ride height wasn't quite right. We weren't fully invested in SUV, CUV styling, but we were starting to move that way. And the Bolt, after we drove it, coupled with the fact that there was nothing else on the market at the time that was a 200 mile plus range at that 40k price point, and then the incentives. At that point, even the Model 3, we weren't sure when it was going to be out, if Tesla would be past their incentives with the tax credit at that point. And also just the availability of the Bolt, it being this size, this form factor, that gave us the kind of impetus to go with it. So that adjusts to your particular profile, seats and other settings, which, let's face it, our friend the Bolt EV is a little bit more manual than that. So here we are inside a Tesla Model 3. Thank you to my in-laws for lending me some time to sit in here. So obviously this is the more tech-forward vehicle, no one is arguing about that. The headroom's actually pretty good. I can't complain. There's a bit more space in the Bolt for the kids, I think, but this is a good sized vehicle for, if you don't mind the sedan form factor, I think you're in good shape with the Model 3. But we had a few things that we would like, really. In the Bolt, we have a higher sitting position, so right here, I'm lower down. It's more of a sleek, dry position. That's great for with kids who are a little bit older, perhaps. We like to be able to get inside here. Kids can just step up. There's no real issues in there. It's a little bit more of a classic driving feel in the Bolt. There's your dash is in front of you here, so you've got your speed. I really do love the layout here. It feels good. It's minimalist. The seats obviously are beautifully comfortable. So there's a lot to like about this car. So it's going to be really nice to have this kind of layout inside a car that has the Bolt's height and the hatch on the back. Just a little bit more of a higher rider position. So another thing here, I'm 6'2", a little bit more on a good day. The seat's adjusted for me up there. Granted, I do have a lot of space, but back here I'm pretty cramped. When I get behind a 6' something driver in the Bolt, we have plenty of space, plenty of leg room back there. So there's a little more space in leasing, obviously, for 3 years, so that comes up next year in June, so that puts us in summer of 2020 essentially for the next vehicle, whether it's buying out this Bolt, looking at the competitors, you know, Kona Electric, Nero, e-Nero. There's potentially a bunch of different vehicles on the market by that point, but obviously the Model Y is going to be one of the most compelling. From what we've seen at the unveil, you're going to get that increased height for the headroom. We like that. It's easier for the kids to get in and out. Obviously the unveil had the 7 seats, which probably won't be something we would go for, but you can see, you know, the family aspect of it starting to come in. That having all the features of the Model 3 put into a crossover SUV, depending on how you want to define it, that's going to fulfill a lot of our use case. So and this is what I'm most excited for in the Model Y. Now here it's harder to see because it's a little darker, but you have a half and half roof, glass roof. So there's this crossbar here, and then it's good for the driver. That's not too bad. You can see a good amount there. The tint is pretty heavy, I find, so you lose some of the visibility. But in the Model Y, it's going to be the whole thing. This whole back and raised further up, this is all going to be glass. So that looks like it's going to be incredible, especially for passengers in the back who are going to see this whole view here. But I think that's going to be something that's a big selling point for us on the Model Y as opposed to the Model 3. So with the Bolt EV, I love this car. I really do enjoy driving it. But it's gone from the first, long-range EV to feeling quite outdated now. The charge speed being maxed out at 55 kilowatts. The charging infrastructure accelerating way ahead of it to 150 or 350 kilowatts in the case of Electrify America. So there are a bunch of things on the Bolt EV that are going to be outdated pretty quickly, even if you think they're not already. So we have to bear that in mind. That was part of the reason for us leasing. Technology is moving so fast in this space that it's not, you're going to have so many different vehicles potentially, and also obviously a lot of those manufacturers, if the EV tax credit stays in place, they are going to have pretty much the full capacity to fill those 200,000 sales, so they're going to be significantly cheaper in some cases. We'll see. I am definitely edging towards the Model Y. The panoramic view through the roof is gorgeous, looks absolutely beautiful. My dad, which I'll put up some footage of his vehicle in the UK, has this gorgeous, the same kind of thing as the Model Y. Seems to have big, wide open glass roof. It's just as a passenger, it's glorious because you get to look around, see a whole lot more of your surroundings, and it makes the car feel that much bigger. Which in an EV you already get, a lot more space down below and in the flat floor with the battery. So adding that to the roof as well, that could make it feel particularly spacious for an already fairly big form factor car. So those are our reasons really for looking at the Model Y, not going straight for the Model 3 now that it's out at that lower price point. It's just, we've moved on from the sedan form factor. It's not going to fit us as a family